Cats and Their Care by E.R.B. Champion. From Cyclopedia of Farm Animals. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Matt Perard. Cats and Their Care by E.R.B. Champion. The many varieties of cats known today are founded on but two types, the long-haired cat of the East and the short-haired cat of Europe. Show cats of both groups are judged by practically the same standard as to color and conformation. In both types the head should be as large as possible, round in shape, with large full eyes, small ears set far apart on the skull, and a short, wide nose. The ears and feet in the long-haired species should be well feathered or tufted with long hair, as this is a sign of high breeding. The body should be short and compact, the tail short and tapering and carried low, but it should be of such length that it does not touch the ground when the cat is in motion. The legs should be thick and short. The only cats that differ in appearance from the above standard are the Manx, Siamese, and Abyssinian. These varieties are very rare in this country. The coat of a long-haired cat is soft and silky, hanging in wavy masses, whilst that of the short-haired cat is harsh, short, and has an even, glossy appearance. The color of the eyes differs with each variety. For example, a white cat should have blue or orange eyes. A blue cat, either long or short-haired, should have orange eyes, as should also a black, tabby, smoke, cream, orange, or tortoiseshell. The chinchilla and shaded silver should have eyes of a deep blue-green, sometimes called œil de Nil. Breeds and types. As has been said, cats are commonly divided into two groups or types, the long-haired and the short-haired. Within these groups, color and conformation, more especially the former, are the marks of distinction, and the varieties are bred for these features. We have chiefly the self-colored and the tabby types. The self-colored cat is one of uniformed shade or solid color, as black, white, orange, and blue. The varieties of tabby and the combinations of color are several: blue, orange, brown, silver, gray, and tortoiseshell. Long-haired cats have long been known in India, France, China, and Persia. Formerly the several varieties were more or less distinct and were subdivided into Angora, Persian, and other classes. These varieties have been so interbred for years that it has been considered advisable to designate them all as long-haired cats, as it would be impossible to distinguish any one characteristic breed in the present day. Colors known solely to the long-haired cat are the chinchilla, shaded silver, and self-orange. The first named is the rarest of all, and it is very difficult to secure a fine specimen. The coat should be of a pale silver gray, almost white at the roots. There should be no tabby markings, and it is this elimination of stripes that makes it such a task to breed a fine specimen. The shaded silver should be silver, evenly tipped with dark shadings on the face, back, and legs. It is a very handsome cat. Like the chinchilla, it should have green eyes and be free from tabby markings. The self-orange, as its name implies, is of one uniform shade of orange, free from tabby marking, and with deep orange eyes. Tabbies should have a pure ground of color with broad black markings. For example, a brown tabby is practically sable or tawny colored, marked with dense black stripes. The orange tabby is marked with a deeper shade of orange instead of black, and in this particular differs from other tabbies. It has been the standard for many years that all tabbies should have deep orange colored eyes, but there is now a movement among breeders to introduce green or emerald eyes for the silver tabby. The cream colored cat is very rare in the short haired varieties, although there are many long haired specimens. The color should be clear biscuit or fawn, and the eyes orange colored. The smoke cat, known to both long haired and short haired varieties, is, in the latter, an apparently black cat, but the fur at the roots is pale, clear silver. In the long haired variety, the silver undercolor breaks through, forming a pale silver ruff around the face, and pale silver fur on the underside of the body and tail. No trace of tabby marking is allowable. The tortoiseshell cat, both a long and a short haired type, is of three distinct colors, red, yellow, and black, evenly distributed over the body, face, legs, and tail in patches. No ticking or tabby marking is desirable. Curiously enough, cats of this color are always females. The Siamese cat is a distinct variety of short haired cat, peculiar to Siam, as its name denotes, where it is highly prized, and propagated under royal supervision. The color of a royal Siamese, as it is termed, is a clear fawn or dun, with extremities, viz., nose, ears, and feet, of deep chocolate or even black. The tail is shorter than in the ordinary short haired cat, and should be shaded with a dark chocolate color. The coat is particularly short, close, and of an even velvety texture, and the eye should be an intense blue. Some authorities contend that the Siamese should have a kinked tail, but many persons consider this eccentricity due to the inbreeding which undoubtedly exists among these cats in Siam. Inbreeding, if practiced to a very great extent, will produce many deformities, and seems especially to affect the spine. The Siamese is the hardest variety of cat to raise. It seems very susceptible to cold and damp, and also to a form of brain trouble. The shape of the head, both in Siamese and in Abyssinian cats, differs from other varieties, being more like that of the original wild cat, that is, wedge shaped. The Abyssinian cat resembles in its coloring the Belgian hare rabbit. The fur is of a rufous red color, ticked evenly with black, with a black stripe down the spine, continuing to the extremity of the tail. This cat resembles in size the domestic or short haired cat. The coat should be close and soft, and the brighter in color the better. The writer has never seen specimens of this variety in America, but they are bred in England, where there is a specialty club to encourage their propagation. The Manx cat is native to the Isle of Man. It is noticeable primarily for its absence of caudal appendage, and for the length of the lower joints of its hind legs, which gives it, when in motion, somewhat the action of a rabbit. These cats are very rare in this country. For exhibition purposes they should show no trace of tail, and should also have the characteristic action of the true Manx cat. In colors they correspond with the varieties known as short haired domestic cats. Breeding. In breeding cats, it should be remembered that they are carnivorous animals, and therefore it is not advisable to start breeding on such an extensive scale that it is impossible to feed them in a natural way. Breeders should limit their operations to raising a few certain colors. Cats are prolific breeders, and if allowed to do so, will raise 3 to 4 families in one year. If they are desired for exhibition, however, only one litter a year should be attempted, as much finer specimens will thus be secured, and they will be less likely to contract diseases. Breeding cats should be chosen for their pedigree and conformation. To attain the best results, one should not cross different colors or varieties, but breed blue to blue, black to black, and so on. In striving to secure a type of cat as near perfection as possible, a certain amount of inbreeding is necessary. This is true in breeding all animals, and although show specimens can be, and are, secured without it, it will be found that the good points of parents will not be reproduced in the offspring unless inbreeding is resorted to in order to fix the type. If one is breeding self colors, as black, white, or blue, special attention must be paid to the soundness of the color. Whites must be free from creaminess. Blacks must be coal black, with no white hairs, and no shading of the color toward the roots of the fur. The blue cat should be a uniform shade of blue throughout. In breeding tabbies, either long haired or short haired, the principal point is distinctness and depth of markings, with purity of ground color. As the best known variety of tabby is the brown, this will serve to illustrate what we mean. In this variety the ground color must be as clear a sable or tawny color as possible, not ticked with black, and the markings, to be perfect, must be a deep, dense black, not ticked with the brown of the ground color. The tabby markings should correspond on both sides of the cat, and should form distinct lines or necklaces about the throat and chest. The tail also must be tabbied. Feeding and care. In raising cats, meat should be the staple diet. This may be mixed with green vegetables, but farinaceous and starchy foods, such as rice, oatmeal, and potatoes, should be strictly avoided. Water should be given to drink, and no milk. The latter is peculiarly indigestible to cats. Cats should be kept excessively clean, both as to the freedom of their coats from all vermin, and also in regard to their quarters. They are naturally very clean in their habits. If properly treated, they are gentle and docile in disposition. Diseases. Cats are very susceptible to dampness. While they will flourish in a dry, clear, cold, and require no heat in such a climate, dampness will bring on many ills, such as pneumonia, ophthalmia, and distemper. The principal causes of mortality in kittens are indigestion and distemper. By strict attention to cleanliness and diet, the former may be avoided to a great extent. The latter, an infectious disease, is frequently contracted through undue exposure, or more commonly from infected cats. The principal remedies for indigestion are subnitrate of bismuth and pepsin. For distemper there is no known cure. It is a disease rarely contracted by animals over 1 year old. The best treatment is warmth, nourishment, and tonic. Quinine in very small doses is beneficial. The most common remedies used in ophthalmia are boracic acid and sulfate of zinc lotions, and the oxides of mercury, both yellow and red, in very severe cases. In giving medicine and applying external lotions to cats, it is well to remember that preparation of carbolic acid or coal tar are peculiarly poisonous to cats, as is also any preparation of opium. Organizations and records. Some of the principal organizations for improving the condition of the cat in this country are the Beresford Cat Club of Chicago, the Atlantic Cat Club, the Lock Haven Cat Club, the Short Haired Cat Society, the Buffalo Cat Club, and the Washington Cat Club, among many others. There are also two associations of breeders formed for the purpose of maintaining proper registration of pedigrees, making show rules and regulations and similar work. These are the American Cat Association, with headquarters in Chicago, and the Cat Fanciers Association, with its secretary in Buffalo. There are many foreign organizations, notably in Great Britain. The first registry of cats to be founded in America was the Beresford Cat Club stud book in Chicago. In Great Britain there are the National and the Cat Club stud books, the latter now discontinued. Literature. Much has been written about cats. The following references will suggest other sources of information: John Jennings, Domestic and Fancy Cats. Francis Simpson, The Book of the Cat. G. Stables, Cats: Handbook to their Classification, Diseases and Training. H. Weir, Our Cats, Varieties, Habits and Management. End of Cats and Their Care